Live.
Why, hello there, everyone.
Coming in
Hello.
swinging with the epic music because there's always epic shit happening on Friday nights whenever it's us in the Nerd Herd.
Right. Today is Friday in California.
Yeah, still it is.
It is.
So,
That's
on
wild.
my ad, it's this girl eating pizza, but she's like picking off the pepperoni and eating it off the pizza. And I'm like, why would your fingers are gonna get so fucking greasy doing that? It's like just eating straight pepperoni. Why bother?
Well, it's a good thing I'm no longer eating pizza.
Yeah, you're not taking pepperoni off of it.
I'm sorry, but you're doing a very good R2O impression right there.
Oh,
Yeah, you kind of roboted a little bit. I'm sorry.
That's my job, man.
I'll be a good calypso and not talk anymore.
Oh no, don't be like that. All right. So as always, when last we left our heroes, Quantum, do you mind sharing, as you are semi-new to the group? This is your second session here, so let's throw you under the bus.
Oh.
What
Well,
happened?
last we checked, they had met this incredibly handsome Warforged, and they hired him as a new mercenary for their little group, and they went back to town where they were met with, glorious praise, and they were paid with many shekels, at which they proceeded to spend it to stimulate the local economy, as any good adventurer would do. And then they proceeded to rest at the inn.
All right, anyone want to fill in any gaps regarding details?
I don't remember.
All right, I'll help you out a little bit. So, when you guys started off last session, there were some other loose ends that you needed to wrap up within the cave that you found Jaegarvold, the halfling who ended up being your arsonist. You were trying to bring him back to town, and you ended up finding Arturo, which is already explained, as he was being harassed by goblins, full goblin mode. And then as you got back to town, he woke up, started being quite feisty, leading to where we are now. As Quantum had said, you guys are resting at the inn and recouping. Some of you might have done other things while you had, well, as long as you wanted to prepare and, hit up some of the shops and some of the other landmarks within the town of Minsershaven. And if you also remember, and this is why I also urge players to take notes, you were also kind of given a quest. The butcher, Leathernukle, had notified you guys regarding, or no, was it the butcher or was it the blacksmith? Help me out here.
It was the candlestick maker.
It was the blacksmith.
It was the blacksmith, okay. So the blacksmith had ended up telling you guys that there were bandit problems. The local banditry had overtaken the silver mines of Minsershaven, but he did not want you to get blood on your hands because it would mean blood on the entire towns. As he had said, these bandits are powerful and you do not know what you're messing with. But yeah, that said, as you come to, you wake up the next day in the inn after resting. What are you guys gonna do? The rooms are pretty standard. You got your straw bed in there. You've got decent furniture, some storage, some blankets and pillows and all that fun jazz. What are you guys doing?
I, for one, am winding down and going to anticipate my new sheath as I custom ordered from the leather worker.
Okay, you're making your way to the general goods slash butchery now.
Oh, did we already go through the night? Is that confirmed?
Yeah. This is the next day.
Okay. Then I'm going to, without a word, I'm just going to go ahead and proceed because I know nobody else needed anything.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything in specific? Are you staying at the inn? Are you talking amongst some of your peers? What exactly are you doing?
Is it like-
food.
Yeah, is it morning?
Yes, it's morning.
I will go to the bar
Okay.
with Shaka to get breakfast.
As you're heading downstairs, you're going to see Seven eagerly running out the door. He seems to be in his own world of studies as he's carrying a book, and he seems to be like perusing it very quickly. That said, as you and Shaka make your way down the stairs, you're going to see Granny Bertha at the at some of the tables, just scrubbing them down as she looks over towards your direction and smiles and says, "Oh, early risers now, are we?"
I forget, did we drink last session? Are we all hungover?
Up to you. Did you drink last night?
I remember. Did we have the drinking contest at the end of our last session, though?
That was at the start of the first session.
Okay.
Maybe if you forgot, maybe you did have enough drink.
I might have. Yeah, I think my character's a little hungover then.
Roll a Constitution save. We'll start with that. First roll of the night. Let's go.
Oh boy.
This can only go well.
My things are still not labeled. What is going on with this?
Hey, it happens.
Should be on the main page, right? Yeah. 16.
All right, so you're actually feeling pretty good, and you remember most of last night. A couple details are a little blurry. For example, how much gold that you actually spent on drinks. That said, I'm gonna actually have you subtract 3 gold pieces, as you did, in fact, have a lot. But besides that, you remember some of the more rowdy townsfolk celebrating in the fact that this arsonist has been brought to justice. You also remember that there was a good number of townsfolk who were giving you like a shady like glare as you were boasting about in the tavern last night. As a matter of fact, I would say a good majority of the townsfolk seem to be shying away from you and are giving you like dirty looks. But Granny Bertha, she, at least right now, she seems to be very elated to see yours and Shaka's presence.
Shaka, what do you wish to eat for breakfast?
Food. There's good bread. Let's get sausage. We can also 20 eggs. 20 eggs. And then what will you have?
Let's say 20 eggs. Oh my god.
Granny Bertha smiles and she says, "Oh, I can make something fit for the both of you then, if you would let me share some motherly wisdom upon you both. You see, if I take a larger bit of sausage and carve it out in the center," and she kind of like creates this image with her hands. It's kind of like, oh god, I can't think of the actual breakfast item. Like you put it in the oven, you mix it all, like scrambled eggs together with all the ingredients.
Quiche?
Yeah, something like that. And she's like, yeah,
Souffle?
if you put all these if you put all these eggs in here like this and you put it in the oven for 30 minutes like so, I can make something grand for the both of you, she says.
Sounds good.
That sounds good. And then and after we eat that snack, we ready for real breakfast.
Her eyes widen and she says, Oh, well, I wasn't familiar with the fact that you giant folk are just as, uh, have as much of an appetite as the halfling folk.
Oh, halflings! I know those. I met one. He was like Ball. He was Ball Man, and we would have an eating contest. And he was really cool and he was really neat, and I liked him a lot. And so, but he couldn't handle a lot as much food. So let us eat the things. Yes.
Oh, wow. I was always familiar with the fact that they had at least 3 breakfasts and twice as many lunches. But that's besides the point. I'll tell you what. I'll go and prepare your food. You guys can spend a little bit of time doing whatever you may please. There are a couple things that it takes time. It takes time to make, like 45 minutes or so. So go about and have fun, and it'll be ready by the time you get back. And she smiles and she says, "And it's also on the house. Anything to help the local heroes."
But we are inside the house, not on the house.
That means it's free.
Oh, outstanding! Do you want to go have a push-up contest? I bet I can do more than you.
How about instead we go hunting?
Granny Bertha smiles and she says, "I'm gonna have to agree with Darts here. I think it was best for me to concede the contest anyway." And she kind of just lifts up her sleeve, and you see a little bit of muscle on the scrawny bones, and she says, "These aren't as large as they were back in yesteryear."
No worries. I know a thing or two about building a routine, and we can get you swole, Granny. You can be stronger than ever.
Again, she smiles and she says, "Oh, no, it's fine. Those days are long past. Although, if you do happen to bring any quarry back here, I'm more than happy to listen to your tales."
Outstanding. I'm gonna go get my spear, and I run upstairs. I run to my room and grab my spear, just ready and raring to go.
Any game you want us to hunt in particular, Granny?
So I know that Seven is going to be hunting for a couple of specific things on his own, but as I don't remember if the butcher had told you guys anything specific either.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's been a hot minute. I think I'd have to go and rewatch the VOD, which I've honestly been slacking on, but that's another story. Granny is gonna smile and she says, "Well, you see, I think it would be quite beneficial if we had some boar. Specifically been a hot commodity that we haven't had around here in these parts in a while. With trade being lacking and all. I would pay handsomely for 3 boars, specifically their tusks. The bacon's nice, but the tusks in particular are quite nice, if you will."
Outstanding. I'm gonna go punch a boar. Come on, let's go do it.
All right, but remember, we only have about an hour.
Okay, let's go punch a boar. I'm gonna go do that. And I run out to, and I'm practically just kind of like jogging along, just like, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna attempt to stealthily jump on his shoulder and see if he notices that I'm hitching a ride on him.
Okay, roll stealth, and Gnome, I'm going to have you roll a perception check against his stealth.
22.
Oh, damn.
Yikes.
With Shaka's excitement, at what point, Shaka, do you want to actually like stop for a second and like see whether or not Darts is following you?
I'll go ahead and run for a little bit, just kind of a little out the door, like maybe towards like close to one of the other buildings that are close by, and then just kind of turn around and be like, "Where did he go? Is Dart's magic?"
while he was running, I would be casually pointing him and like verbally directing him towards the forest in hopes that he just doesn't realize that I'm on his shoulders and he's just listening. He is
Can't believe
going.
you're gonna ratatouille him.
Yeah, I'm trying to ratatouille him without like him knowing. That's what I'm going for.
All right, Shaka, what do you do to this? Actually, Darts, do you want to roleplay that? Like, what exactly do you do? As he recognizes, like, Darts is not there, and he's like thinking you're magic.
I would be like, Shaka, come on, we gotta go hunt the boars. Go forward. Why are you stopping?
Hearing that voice, I immediately just go, "Oh, okay." Darts is apparently in the air now, and I just book it into the forest.
As you guys are, well, as Shaka's running, Shaka doesn't. Oh, by the way, you guys can heal up fully. I can do that for you guys.
I did. You just set wounds to 0, right?
I got that. I'm just gonna hit the long rest button and then win. But yeah, anyways, as Shock is running, he's in like hyper focus mode. He does not know any, like, he isn't aware of any other people like looking towards your direction. He's just got a spear and he's going hut 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 into the forest. Meanwhile, Darts, as you're looking around, you see all the shocked faces of the other townsfolk as they've witnessed this oddity in their neck of the woods. It's a sight to behold.
I'll do like the princess wave while I'm like just holding on from behind this dashing behemoth of a man.
And you're holding on pretty good too. We're going to pan the camera to Calypso. What are you doing?
Calypso, do we have our own rooms, or is it just like one big room?
You guys do have your own rooms. However, if you wanted to say you're sharing with somebody, you can go ahead and do that.
While they're off hunting, Calypso would have gone down to grab breakfast, and then when it's ready, go up to their room to eat it.
Okay, what kind of breakfast are you looking for? Like the same kind that they're having, or?
Yeah, it seems like they're making omelets, so I might as well stick with that.
All right. So as you're waiting, I mean, you're gonna be waiting that 45 minutes for that to get ready. Is there anything you want to do to fill the void?
They'll probably just be sitting at the bar.
All right. I do want to also mention that there is a prisoner that is waiting to be interrogated, that it is up to you to take that moment to go and do that whenever, but they are being held in the local militia barracks.
Yeah, Calypso probably isn't the best at interrogating.
Just draws
Don't have
a picture.
the words for it.
Draws a picture of a happy or sad face.
It just draws angry, and they add more angry eyebrows to intimidate them.
I mean, I would give you a roll for that. But yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else you'd like to do, we'll pass the camera over to Arturo. As you approach the Leather Knuckle butchery, you're going to hear like the sound of leather being tightened from the inside.
Is the door open, or is it?
It is quite shut.
Is it locked, or is it just like open like normal?
Well, assuming that you're asking if it's locked, you go and try the handle and it opens.
I do. Okay. All right. I go inside, and is he at the counter, or is he in the back?
He's working in the workshop, like right there in center in the store, and you see that your sheath is being worked on. As a matter of fact, he looks towards your direction. He says, "Oh, friend, good news for you." As he looks down at the piece he's working on, it is almost done. Give me just a moment. As he, ties a piece of leather strapping around there, puts a buckle on, makes it look a little fancy, and he's gonna take a brand. He goes over to the fireplace and he stamps that onto the sheath, and he says, "Here you go. It might have to cool a little bit, but there it is. It is done." As you see his watermark, so to speak, on the sheath.
I'm going to take a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship and thank him. Quite the piece. I see my gold was spent well.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad that you considered the Leather Knuckle Butchery for this job. It's not every day that we get to see this much I get to see this much coin. I mean, well, it just makes me happy that the gold is being well spent. He smiles and he says, there's a friend of mine, actually, if you would like to meet him. I mean, as good as a master leather worker as I am, he lives in Theodoros, and did I say friend? My bad. He's more like a cousin. If you happen to meet him, he might be able to do a little improvement or two on your sheath or anything else that you need regarding leather work.
Duly noted. It is always good to see a craftsman in action, or at least a fellow craftsman.
He smiles and nods, and he says, Indeed, indeed. I just wish that there were more of us around. He scratches the back of his head, and he says, especially with greater jobs. He sighs, and he says, the work here in Minsershaven is not as fruitful as I thought it would be.
Well, I assume now with the cathedral to repair, I'm sure you'll get a good amount of workers. With them comes foot traffic.
That's true. But in times like these, when the roads are shut down and people are even afeared to travel from one town to another in any country, I feel like those chances are lessened. I think it's just us here in this town that have to repair that church, and I'm not sure if anyone has the motivation with the cold outside. That, and the bandit problem, as he shrugs.
Well, at least one of those things can be solved very easily.
He smiles and he says, making the snow stop? Yeah, I agree with you there.
I was gonna say I smile, but then I remembered I don't have a face.
In spirit.
I just strap the sheath to my my upper arm.
We need to get you magnetic facial expressions.
Like googly eyes.
Just like a magnetic frowny face that you can just put on your face, like put on your faceplate, or like a magnetic smile.
Like the mask from Blackstone.
It's the same thing, but you know how people say like turn the frown upside down? You just actually do it.
I'm gonna change my from the D&D screen real quick to my full face cam because I want to show off your mini on camera.
Okay.
So this is Arturo's mini, right? And I don't think I could find googly eyes small enough to put on that face. Otherwise, I totally would just for the gag factor. Because A, it would be funny, and B, I think it would actually look kind of cool, low key. But yeah, this is
For sure.
This is his what he actually looks like, and I would totally be down to do the same thing for the rest of you guys if you made a mini on Hero Forge. But that's a topic for off stream. I said, where were we?
Well, I'm going to strap the sheath to my arm and then just sheathe the knife without saying a single, without commenting. Right. Weather.
He sighs at that and he says, well, is there anything else I can do to help you, my friend?
I don't believe there is. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
Indeed, and perhaps there's something that you could do to help me.
Oh? You've piqued my interest.
I didn't want to bring this up, but it's just me and you, so we can keep this kind of on the down low. There's this unsavory gentleman who goes by the name of Telfin. He may or may not be working for those bandits, and he's got something of mine that he can't easily get back to me. If you could somehow talk to him. I know that he patrols the roads at night with some other of the bandits. Although I'd imagine if you ran into them, they would be less than hospitable. But I can't quite say the thing. But if you could talk to him and tell him that Gareth wants to chat, I'd appreciate that.
What kind of item should I be on the lookout for?
He scratches the back of his head and he says, it's nothing illegal. It's, so to speak, something I paid good money for that's fairly large and can fit in a box about this big. I don't know if you can see me like on camera, but he kind of makes, arm gestures and like you can tell it's a box that's meant to be carried, with two hands.
Okay, so it's not something that I would easily miss.
Yeah, it's large enough, he says.
Well, if I have a friendly chat with any unsavory individuals, I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
He smiles as he says, "Thank you. I appreciate it. It isn't every day I can open up to... Well, never mind. Thank you."
I give a nod and walk out of the establishment and return to the tavern. Or inn/tavern.
What's that? Sorry, I was writing something down.
I return to the inn.
Yeah. Sounds good. As the camera pans back to Darts and Shaka. Shaka, what are you doing as you make it to the wood line?
When I make it to the wood line, I'm going to kind of slow down and try to be a little bit stealthy, I imagine, because I've just gotten up. I'm not wearing my armor.
Okay.
So I shouldn't, but I'm still probably not as stealthy as I could be. I'm going to be kind of like looking around for potential boar runs or signs that I might find boar.
Okay. Let the dice decide. Roll stealth for me. And Dart, so what are you doing as you're riding along his back?
Did he say he's doing a survival check for tracks?
Not yet. He's doing a stealth check right now.
Can I do a survival check?
Yes, you may.
That is an 11.
An 11. By the way, I know that this isn't like advantage disadvantage because you don't have your armor on. In this case, I am going to take the higher roll though because you didn't know. What I'm going to...
Oh crap, it did it automatically. I apologize profusely.
If you want to reroll, what you could do is you could hit advantage on the bottom left there, and I think that will negate it. I'm like 50% sure it'll negate it. Aha! I have the biggest brain, and you roll lower.
Somehow
I'm so
worse.
sorry. Well, as soon as you step into the wood line, you snap a very large log. Like it almost sounds as if you know the sound whenever you do the final cut into a tree and it snaps? That's kind of how it sounds. And as it does
Uh-oh.
that, you see multitudes of birds flying from the trees, just dispersing from the area. You hear other sounds of wildlife just going away from the point that you just stepped into.
Shaka's looking for boar! Animals know where boar... Oh, wait, animals cannot talk. That's a problem. Whoops.
In darts, with your survival, as you're looking down, it's kind of difficult to get a good look at like tracks, as you're on the wildly moving Shaka. But what I will say is, at least you know multitudes of directions where animals are going now, given the loud noise that Shaka just made.
I'm gonna tap on his shoulder and just whisper in his ear if he hasn't noticed me yet. It's even funnier. Shaka, let's not be loud while hunting. You're gonna scare our prey away.
Okay, disembodied voice in Shaka's head. That is probably a good idea. Tell me if you see darts.
Shaka, it's me. I'm on your shoulder.
Really? And I'm like, look around. It's like, oh, there you are.
I've been on your shoulder the whole time, buddy.
Okay. You are very fast and good at jumping. I am very proud of you, and you deserve a hug.
We can hug after we get our boar. I am starving.
Outstanding. I'm going to start booking it in the direction of the animals are going.
All right. You book it, leaving Darts behind almost as you're running fast. Darts, what do you do as soon as he starts entering this dead sprint?
I hold on and brace so I don't fall off.
Hold on tight, spider monkey.
I'm a cat.
All right, so as you're entering this dead sprint, you're running through multitudes of thickets and brush. I need you to roll an athletics check. Meanwhile, Darts, if you would, I need you to roll an acrobatics. See if you hold on for me. Ooh.
14?
Very nice. Both of you succeed, and Shaka critically so. Shaka, as you're running through the woods, you do not care what is in front of you, so much so that you actually run into a tree and just knock it straight down. And as this happens, you hear a female voice say, "Hold it! You're gonna scare the animals!"
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and like just freeze, just be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I got excited.
As you're stood in the aftermath of the tree that you had just felled, like you didn't even shoulder check it, you ran right into it, not even caring. You see a familiar woman, Tara Hearthfire, with a bow drawn. Well, I would say quietly moving towards you, with a hand just lightly out. She says, "What is a giant and a cat doing in these woods, hunting so loud that it's no longer hunting? As a matter of fact, I would call the sport chasing at this rate."
Well, you see, I came in and I yelled really loud and I broke a tree, so the animals started running. So since they're running, I have to run really fast to catch up to them and then stab them. And then I'm gonna bring them back. And the nice lady at the end, she's gonna make me something with a lot of eggs and sausage, and she wanted bacon and tusks.
As you're talking, she's going to put her hands up and she's going to like gesture downwards. And as you finish your little speech, she says, Okay, I appreciate the sentiment, but could you bring your voice down a little bit? It was darts, right? Have you ever hunted
Mhm.
before?
Uh, I've done hunting of a type or so, yeah.
She crosses her arms and she says, do I want to know what type?
Probably not.
Ahem. Alright. So I suppose it's time for me to teach you both how to hunt properly, then.
I did, in fact, yell at him to be quiet.
I've hunted many times. You see, what we do is that there are big herds of big moose. And so I run really fast behind them, and then they run off a cliff. It works really well, especially if we find a mammoth.
Well, Shaka, how fast were you?
Very fast. I'm very fast. Do you want me to pick you up so I can run really fast and we can make them run off a cliff?
She folds her arms and she says, but are you faster than a Theodoran boar?
I don't know. I've never run with a Theodoran boar, but I'm excited to find out. Let's get one. We're gonna put them in like a pen thing, and then we can run. We can run it together, and we can find out. And I'm gonna be faster because I'm really fast.
She sighs as she says, oh, all right. Let me tell you something, my friend. Theodoran boars, they run very fast. Faster than, well, imagine this. You know how to blink, yes? I'd imagine, like, Shaka's just staring at her, like, with a dead stare, like, excitement in his eyes, like, he's raring to go.
Like, Shaka's actually a little bit confused because he's like, well, if they're moving so fast, why are we still here when they're running? We should go chase them, and you have a bow, we can shoot them.
Well, is that how you answer her question, or do you say something else?
I'm just gonna say, I don't know if I know how to blink, but I am always blinking. Do I know how to do a thing I'm always doing but never thinking about? This is confusing and is making my brain hurt.
All right, Shaka, and she says this is a blink, and she shows you what a blink is as she blinks.
I know how to blink, but it's good that you know how to as well. Thank you for sharing.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. As she gives a little, like, a wary chuckle, and she says, you see, in the time it takes me to do this, and she points a little ways forward, you see a tree that's maybe, like, 20 feet ahead, and she says, you see that tree over there?
Yes.
In the time that it takes for me to blink, and she does it, and she points a little, like, farther ahead, like 60 feet ahead of that initial tree. She says, in that time, that boar would be over there. Now, you tell me, my friend, do you think that you could catch a Theodoran boar just by running at it?
I don't know. I haven't tried yet.
Darts.
I probably could.
She looks at you and says, Darts, can you help me out here? I'm trying to teach this man how to hunt. It's like teaching a dwarf to quit beer.
You see, everything you said right there, I could probably catch that. I don't know if you know that. And he'll start, like, flexing. I'm kind of fast.
The point I'm trying to make is if we are stealthy and sneak up on one, I can loose an arrow, and I can say that you both helped. I mean, I don't even have to loose the arrow. You've got a spear, you could throw it. Or what about you, Darts? You could probably... And she looks you up and down. What do you have for ranged weaponry as she sees you just laced with daggers?
Well, I have a bow. I have a plethora of daggers. I'm quite skilled at throwing. Always have my claws. I could just, throw myself. I could be the weapon. He'll pull out his claws and put them back in.
As she cranes her neck just to kind of look around, and she does see the bow on your back. She says, "Oh, you have that well hidden."
Good magician never reveals his tricks.
Well, that's besides the point. Listen, I'm not here to ruin your parade, but if we could.
Oh,
hunt-
please don't use metaphors. You're gonna confuse Shaka.
I'm not here to bring down rain and ruin your day, Shaka. But
You can control the weather?
I told you.
she looks up at the sky and still seeing it snow, and she says, "I have an idea. Shaka, if you can help me hunt this boar quietly, I will make it rain just for you. I will be the magician who shows her secret."
Shaka thinks for a second, starts to kind of like flex his legs. It's as if he's going to jump for joy, and then thinks better of it because she said that I need to be quiet.
So what is your response to what she says then?
Enthusiastic nodding.
Okay. So as you're nodding, she's going to take an arrow, knock it on her bow. She says, "All right, now let me show you how to hunt. Crouch like this and follow me." The camera's going to pan over to Arturo and Calypso as you both are in the inn, and it's been about half an hour, so 15 minutes until the food is ready. And Granny Bertha seems to be working quite diligently. And as you two are here, what do you do?
Well, I'm gonna walk back in, and I noticed Calypso, which I wasn't able to really get acquainted with, and I will sit one seat apart from them and just monitor them, see if they do anything or interact with me.
Calypso will just sort of every now and then just look at you from the corner of their eye, just each glance a little more nervously as the giant Warforged is just staring them down, just without any change in facial anything, because they're a robot.
Lovely weather we're having.
Isn't it? Hold on, from the map, is it like raining or snowing?
It is snowing. As a matter of fact, there's about a little more than a light dusting. I would say like 4 or 5 inches of snow on the ground. Some pathways with footprints giving an indication of where foot traffic goes. But other than that, yeah, there's snow on the ground.
Calypso, they'll look out the window at like the snow that is clearly falling and, piling up, and give sort of a confused nod to Arturo.
Well, you see, I can't, feel temperature as much as you, but it looks nice.
Calypso will just think for a second and nod, and then grab one of the little napkins and write on it, and just write down like it is pretty, and hand it over.
Oh, you don't talk.
They'll sort of just give a solemn shake of their head.
This is harder than math.
Let's see. Does Calypso, not Calypso, does Arturo know common sign?
Do you attempt to sign at me?
Yeah, I'll sign and say like, do you speak sign?
I don't speak hand gestures, unfortunately. Not those kinds of hand gestures.
Calypso will shrug and then just grab another napkin and say, yeah, no one does these days.
You know where the other two went?
They'll shake their head and then write down they were gone when I came down.
Well, I would like to go interrogate your prisoner, but if we're waiting on them, I've got nothing better to do. Do you want to teach me your sign language?
They'll think for a second and then look how the omelets are going, and then right on the note be like, sure, we can put some practice in before breakfast.
I vote that we put in at least try and practice common conversation.
So, Mr. DM, what do I roll for trying to teach?
Well, assuming that you know it,
I sure hope I do.
well, let me take a look at your skills. Unless you want to propose a skill for me and tell me how you would use it.
It's probably either maybe wisdom, because it's a language that they've been working with for a while. They probably have a pretty solid understanding of it, so maybe they'd be able to do like a wisdom check to see how much Arturo is able to pick up.
Okay. Go right ahead, and I'll also let you add your proficiency bonus.
Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
I should roll too?
Well, as you're trying to learn this, what I'm gonna have you do is, how do you want to try to learn it? Do you want to propose to me a skill that you want to try to use to either mimic or retain this information?
Well, seeing that I'm a Warforged, I'm going to be processing this as raw information. So I think an intelligence save of some sort. So let me see. I think. Something along the lines of, I want to say something like history, because I'm trying to recall the information constantly, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and roll for history.
Okay. That is fine.
Oh,
All right. So Coffee, did you add your proficiency bonus with that?
Yep, I did.
Okay. So Quantum, with your history roll, I'm going to say that you were a little rough on the edges, whether you're trying to like repeat what Calypso had said, and mind you're learning, so this may take a couple of sessions to do so. And who's to say how long it takes you to like do this specific lesson? But as you're fumbling on a couple of these signs, Calypso, do you do anything?
I'll try and, when they mess up a sign, I'll try and guide them over again. But Calypso also ain't a teacher, so they're not the best at it, but they're trying.
Okay.
at the same time, as I am not a normal human, I will instruct him at the same time how to manipulate my fingers. Because it would be easier to manipulate my fingers than, say, like, a flesh-based human being.
That is absolutely
Because
fair.
I can just stay still.
Okay. What I'm gonna have you do now, Archer, I'm gonna have you roll percentage for me.
Percentage.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a 25% chance to get advantage on your next roll regarding this lesson here.
Okay.
Okay, so
65.
So unfortunately, you don't get advantage on your next roll, but we'll see how it goes next time. I'm gonna pan the camera back to Shaka and Darts. as you guys are hunting within the woods near Minsershaven. So as Tara is kind of showing you guys how to kneel down and act slowly, you guys are going to make it ahead a little bit. And Darts, with your survival from before, you're actually going to notice some footprints, small hooves in the snow. Ray, are you there?
Sorry, my best friend just texted me that his mom was throwing up blood.
That's not good.
No, she needs a liver.
Do we need to take a second and take a break?
No, there's nothing I can do about it right now anyways. If he calls me though, then I'll tell you.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm just gonna make the offer. There's homeless people near where I live, and I own a hacksaw if she needs a liver. We can gather a few, and and I have a cooler. Let's do this thing.
I will keep that in mind, and he would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed out. What did you guys need from me? I apologize.
Yeah, no worries. So with your 11 from before with your survival, because I'm imagining you're still like actively looking for tracks, you are going to see a small hoof print in the snow.
I'm gonna whisper to the other two guys. I see a hoof print in the snow. And I'm gonna point towards our guide, our lovely guide here. Does this happen to match the boar we're tracking?
Tara's gonna look at you and she says, it seems to be a little bit small, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's perhaps a younger boar.
You know what that means.
Hold on just one moment. I'm going to give a shout out to Wicked Slick 420 for giving us a raid with 9. Thank you guys for coming in. We're playing some D&D with some good friends around here. So let me give you a shout out real quick, let the clip play, and we'll resume playing. Unfortunately, I can't do a lot of talking with chat as I'm DMing, but I just want to let you know I really appreciate the raid. Thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoy your stay as we're playing some D&D. So there's your shout out, my friend.
Hello, raid friends.
fucked
Pull up
up
a
my
chair
weapon.
and stay a while. Also, follow and subscribe to our friend Trey here, because he's amazing.
Thank you, Gnome. Thank you.
Shot. Damn. That was not a shot. Oh crap! I got enough money to buy a gun.
For some reason, the clip isn't playing over Fantasy Grounds. Maybe.
Man.
Do you have it layered properly?
This whole travel cancel
Yeah, it's not
trap,
layered
man.
properly.
You silly.
I'll figure that out later. Okay. We got to see a little bit of the clip, even though I didn't even see what game was being played. But yeah, welcome on in, everybody. Anyways, back to business. I honestly forgot what happened as soon as the raid was going on. Can you guys help me out here?
Yeah, we just established that we found a track of the youngling boar. And I was going to say that with a youngling comes parents, more meat.
She nods and she says, yes, I agree. Very astute assessment, Darts. I have an idea. Shaka, I know that you're not entirely savvy at moving quietly, given as she looks up and just sees you towering. And no, by the way, Wicked Slick, you're good, you're good. Raids happen, totally fine, and I appreciate it regardless. But yeah, Tara says, despite that, why don't you take point over there ahead? I have an idea.
I'm gonna nod very carefully and very slowly, and then just kind of creep over to a place that she tells me to go to.
And as you're starting to creep over there, she's gonna grab your shoulder and she says, I need you to keep your spear ready. If you see something run towards you, throw.
I'm gonna nod enthusiastically.
Okay, so as you're a little ways ahead, Tara looks towards you, Darts, and she says, All right. So, my plan is, why don't we move around? We can force them to run towards Shaka. Then we can kill as many as we can in as swift as we can.
Sounds good to me.
She smiles and she says, "Very well. Let's head around." And as she's going to go more or less away from the tracks, she's going to ask you, so I've been meaning to ask, what brings you to Minsershaven anyway?
Well, you know, a little of this, a little of that. Found myself a cool little group to hang out with.
Oh, that's very specific. A little this, a little that. I could have said
Well,
the
you
same
know,
thing, given you a reason why I was out here in the first place.
You know, sometimes our line of work is very private.
So private that you can't share it with a woman of Minsershaven?
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite disappointing. I was hoping I could
I
entice.
understand.
I was hoping I could entice you with a little bit of information if I were to learn a little bit more about yourself.
What kind of information might you be trying to entice me with? My ears will perk up a little as she says the word information.
Well, I would say information about these bandits that are around us, because there's a little bit of a vendetta I'd like to settle with them myself.
Alright, well, if you must know about me, I'll give you a little bit, but not too much. All you have to know is that I've done pretty much any sort of hunting and tracking of the man variety as a mercenary.
A
I've done
mercenary or a
some work
bounty
as a
hunter, as she cuts you off.
pirate.
She says a mercenary or a bounty hunter as she cuts you off.
A little bit of both. More so column B.
She says, I see. And what is your quarry now?
Right now I'm just looking for the coin. Just happened to lead me here.
Interesting. A bounty hunter with no quarry. I'm gonna have to keep my eyes on you, Tara says. Well, information
Well?
for information, a bargain's a bargain. My brother Willem, he left to go and pursue these bandits. As a matter of fact, it was a little bit more than a pursuit. It was more of a joining, if you will, and I don't quite appreciate that. And at the same time, I'd like to see to him return to me safely. I aim to leave Minsershaven tonight with my bow and my short sword. I aim to get him back.
Well, so happens our goals might align because there's some coin involved with your quest, and that's what I'm after. Why not just join forces with us?
A tempting offer. A very tempting offer. I'm going to ask you to meet me outside of Minsershaven, to the north, outside the graveyard, tonight. After that, we can formulate our plan to move forward and perhaps take these bandits down. If not, just bring my brother back. Whereas one person, myself, wouldn't be able to do it alone. Perhaps 6 may.
Would you like me to bring the group, or just you and I meet tonight?
I'll leave that up to your discretion. We could make this a scouting mission, or we could just go in guns blazing.
I am one who personally believes in the power of a good scouting. Don't know if you've noticed myself, I am a man of the shadows.
Indeed. As she holds up her hand and she says, but it seems that you're not quite the perceptive type. Look ahead. As she points out a family of boars. There's 3 of them. A mother, a father, and a child.
Now, might I ask you this question before we hunt these boar?
I'll give you one,
Would you-
she says.
Would you rather kill them and have meat tonight, or capture them and have meat for a lifetime?
She looks at you and she says, I'll leave that up to you. I was only here hunting for sport. It seems that you and your friend Shaka are hunting for something else.
Ah, we're surely hunting to pass the time. I promised the big guy I'd take him out hunting as a reward for, letting me be myself during our last mission.
I see, I see. I suppose there are more questions that I have to ask you then, Darts. But we'll leave that to another time. On your cue?
Can I roll a stealth check to try and sneak?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I could find the button. The labels went away. There it is.
I really need to find more like static images that I can put in the background.
26?
Or just commission an AI to do art for me, because that would make this so much more dynamic. But yeah, that is a really good stealth check. As a matter of fact, you could sneak by these boars and they would have no clue.
I would sneak behind them and signal to incapacitate them. Not kill, but knock the big ones, specifically at least one male and female, unconscious.
Okay. Shaka, as you're stood there, it's been like 5 minutes as you're stood still. How impatient do you get?
5 minutes.
I'm
Well-
probably fine. I mean, the way I kind of pictured Shaka's hunting experience was kind of just like, I don't know if you've ever seen like those documentaries of Neolithic hunters who would just run shit off a cliff.
Yeah.
But like he's used to kind of waiting to be told to go run down a thing.
Okay.
So probably he's gonna be fine.
Okay. As you're waiting, do you do anything, or do you just stay there and just like count your breath?
I'm going to be keeping my eyes very focused on the direction I was told to watch, and just kind of have like the spear ready to throw at the first sign of motion.
Okay. Well, in that event, I'm not even going to have you roll a perception check here. As you're looking in that direction, your eyes do zoom in. You do see the 3 boars. You do not, however, see Darts or Terra.
Okay, am I able to kind of tell that it's like a mated pair with a young one?
I would say yes. Despite the distance, like you're talking maybe 150 to almost 200 feet away from where you're standing, but yes, you can tell that it is a group.
Cool. Can I tell which one is the male?
I'm gonna have you roll survival check with disadvantage. Okay, not bad, but also not great. I'm going to say that as you see the 3 of them, there's one that you can tell that is obviously a child, if not adolescent. Whereas the other 2, you see a larger one and a slightly smaller one.
Okay, so I'm gonna go for the bigger one, just kind of assuming it's the male, because I don't want to kill like the juvenile, because there's no sport in killing a baby, and I don't want to deprive a juvenile of its mother. But so I'm gonna go for the one I think is the male, which is the big one.
All right. That said, how do you go for it? I mean, you're still stood right here, right now. How do you act?
Oh, I'm throwing my spear right into this bastard.
What is the range on your spear?
That's a great question. Stand by.
No worries.
I think they're 24, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll let you think this through first, because whatever you happen to do here is probably what's going to determine what Darts and Terra end up doing. Because my understanding, Darts, with your stealth, how far behind them are you, feet-wise?
Behind the boars.
Like, directly behind them, like Skyrim
I would
stealth?
say yeah, Skyrim stealth a couple feet.
Okay.
I am about. It says 20/60.
Okay. So yeah, that means you're gonna have to be within 20 feet to get a good shot, and after that it's disadvantage.
Okay. Does it look like they're coming towards me, or does it look like they're just kind of hanging out?
They're hanging out, grazing in a small clearing.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try approaching. I'm kind of trying to be a little bit stealthy about it and try not to alert them.
All right. Roll stealth for me. Remember, click advantage on the bottom left before you roll, so it cancels out. Oh? It gave you advantage anyway. Did you unselect the armor?
I think I did. I'm sorry. I'm not as used to long nights as you youngins. Let me go ahead and redo that.
No worries, no worries. I do remember the other roll being relatively high as well. But yeah, go ahead and redo that.
It's 16, 17, so it's pretty similar.
Okay, yeah. Right, it says it right there. So I'm just gonna take the first roll. I'm not gonna fail you for your own blunder there. So as you grab your spear and you're steadily making your way forward, I'm gonna say that you are moving stealthily enough to where you can avoid detection, and to traverse that amount of space stealthed, I would say it takes a minute or two. So in that time, as Terra and Darts are kind of in position, Darts, what are you doing? Ray, everything okay?
Yeah, sorry, what happened?
So Shaka's quietly moving towards the boars. Um, it's gonna take him a minute to get over there. So that said, what are you doing? You're in position.
Okay, let me double check. Can I tell which one is the... Well, I can tell which ones are the adults from this distance.
Yeah.
Alright, if I have the time, I guess I would attempt to jump out from the shadows and tie a rope around the female.
Okay. So what I'm gonna have you do is roll for me it's gonna be a contested sleight of hand. Not boar. So I'm gonna have you roll your sleight of hand, and it is going to roll a save as well.
22.
I don't know about you, but it is going to fail. So you're going to go for the large one, you say?
I'm gonna go for the female.
The female, okay. So yeah, you go for the female. You jump over it, nearly tackling it in a very swift motion. You're going to tie its hind legs as it begins kicking kind of violently, and it slips over itself. Shaka, as you see this, what do you do?
Am I anywhere near position to kind of roll an attack of any kind against these things?
Yes, I'm going to say that you are within 20 feet.
So I see him going after the smaller one, right? Yes?
You see him going over after the smaller adult. And explain to me, like, what is this motion, Darts? Like, what exactly do you do to jump over and tie it?
Oh, I'm pouncing like a cat. It's like
Okay.
out of the shadows. I'm just gonna pounce on top of her, wrangle her, and tie her up with the rope.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna be tying the legs, and like I said, she like bucks as she just lands onto the ground, and you hear like the signature boar squeal as that happens. So yeah, Shaka, what are you doing when you behold that?
So I'm seeing him attack the smaller one. So, thinking that that is the mother. Um, I think if I kill the male, the young one is gonna flee. So, but if I kill the young one, which it appears my friend is killing the smaller adult. So I guess we're just wiping him out, is what Darts wants to do. Um,
I'm not
I'm,
killing.
Yeah,
yes, you
he's just tied
you
a
did
rope
not
on
tell
her.
Shaka that. So Shaka is
True.
coming to his conclusions.
True.
I'm going to throw I'm going to throw the spear into. Even though I hate doing this, I'm taking out the adolescent because I think that that one is going to flee if I kill the male, but the male will charge me if I kill the adolescent, and then I can punch the male to death.
Fair assessment. Fair and reasonable assessment.
I'll go ahead and roll my attack.
Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and go to the combat tracker, you should be able to see the. Actually, no, you won't. I need to put them on the board. Yeah, you should be able to see the board now in the combat tracker, and you should be able to target it. If not, there's the token that's on the map.
We don't see the B token.
Well, on the bright side, Shaka can target the boar, so oof. You take your spear, you chuck it, and as you do, you see that it lands in the dirt, in between the trio and Darts. And as this happens, Tara's going to loose a shot at the larger boar, and when she does that, that is going to hit. It is going to end up dealing a fair amount of damage to the boar. Like, you see that boar squeal, and it shoots right through the chest. It's very badly hurt, but when this happens, the adolescent, as you had expected, Shaka, it is going to run towards you as the male boar. I'm going to say it runs towards, well, it would be running away from the threat, so it would be running with the the adolescent boar as well. So that said, as these two are running towards you, Shaka, actually, I'm going to have Darts do something here. Darts, what do you do first, as you just tied up the female?
I would attempt to tie up the male next, if given the opportunity.
Okay.
That is something Darts has proficiency with.
Absolutely.
What is Darts' speed?
Speed. Let's see. I can have a speed of, so it's 30, but I can dash once and then dash again, or double it. So I can get, I think, up to 120
Okay.
if need be.
Well, the boars did not dash. As a matter of fact, they just used their speed. As they're running, you can choose one or the other. The father, the adolescent, and like you said, the father, correct? So yeah, you're gonna be able to move fast enough to catch up to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and capture it with the rope as well.
All right, again, I'm gonna have you do sleight of hand, and I'm going to roll its contest.
Oof. Natural 1.
All right, so
For 6.
as you're running towards it, you aim for that tackle, and unfortunately you fall flat. And when that happens, it is going to do an attack on you. It is going to kick back, and you're going to see a hoof fly towards your face. And that, in 8, does that hit you?
And no.
So yeah, up to you to describe how you dodged it, but it is not going to be hitting you.
I will hold my arms to my face as I fall while dashing as it gets away from me.
All right, and it is running swiftly. So Shaka, at this point, you see the adolescent and the father being injured, having an arrow just sticking to his chest. Both of them running towards you. What do you do?
I'm going to stand ready to start punching. And the first one that comes to that comes close to me, I'm gonna punch it in the schnoz.
All right. Is this going to be lethal or non-lethal?
I'm still under the impression we're out here hunting to like bring home meat, so this is gonna be lethal.
All right. Okay, so as this boar runs towards you, I need you to make an attack. You know, you're jumping out of the shrubbery to bonk it. Oof!
I roll like acids today! Hooray!
All right, so you put your hand into a fist and you go for this punch, and you punch the air so hard that you could have swore that the air itself is making a sound around your punch. But unfortunately, you were going to end up missing as the infant, or I keep on saying infant, the adolescent and the adult just run right by you. Tara is going to try to loose another shot at the adult male. And that is a natural 20. You see this arrow fly through the trees, and almost like it's winding through, like the arrow turns almost to the wind and is going to curve shot at this boar, killing the adult, leaving the adolescent left. Darts, what do you do? Mind that the adolescent at this point is probably 80 feet ahead.
So you said they didn't dash, so I still have the ability to dash and use my full movement.
Yeah.
Okay, I would try and catch up to the adolescent and try and catch it then.
All right. As you get close, I'm gonna go ahead and let you do your sleight of hand again, and it is going to get its contest.
19.
All right, I rolled a natural 1, so the adolescent actually slips and falls in the mud and snow, leading you to just walk up to it and tie it up. And as that happens, combat is technically over. Tara is going to emerge forth from her hiding spot, and she says, "Well, that was unforeseen. Good work, Shaka. I'm proud of you," as she hands back your spear as she plucks it from the ground.
Jacques I'm used to bigger opponents. I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened, and I feel bad.
No.
Maybe we should find more boar and I can try again. I'm sorry.
She raises her hands and like moves them back, and she says, No. You did a good job. As a matter of fact, so good that I'll show you how I can turn the snow to water. A promise is a promise, after all."
Instantly happy again.
She's going to take off her leather gloves, and she's going to put her hands in the snow, forming it into a ball shape. And she says, "All right, so this is the start of it." You see, as she forms a snowball in her hands. And how do you react to this?
With rapt attention. Like if you've ever watched a child at a magic show who's just utterly fascinated, that is Shaka.
Darth, what are you doing while this is going on?
I'm rolling my eyes.
All right, so as Shaka, you're paying attention, she's going to say, "All right, now look very closely. as I turn this into water. And what she does is she throws it right up into the air. And as it falls down, it is going to land on top of your bald head. And the snowball disperses into many small particles. And she says, "Ta-da! Magic trick performed."
You just hit me with a snowball.
She shrugs and she says, "It is technically water."
Okay. Well, then you know what has to happen now, right? And I start gathering as much snow as I can to form a quick snowball and chuck it at her.
All right, roll and see if you hit. Well,
Can I roll above a 10 tonight, please?
unfortunately, your 9 is going to miss. You have an arm, by the way. This snowball flies right past her and is going to hit a tree that is nearby. And she says, "Oh, you're going to have to try a little bit harder to hit a woman of my stature." And she's going to roll up another snowball, quickly hide behind a tree, and she's going to give another shot towards you, this time with intent. This is going to be a 7 to hit, which I'm assuming misses.
Yep, that'll miss even my bulk.
Well, Darts, what do you do as you see the snowball fight break out? Ray, everything all right?
Yeah, sorry.
Literally
I'm
no
getting
worries.
distracted tonight.
Literally no worries. So yeah, do you do anything as you see the snowball fight break out?
I would just make sure the mother and the child were secure. Under my breath, I would have been just like, man, incest is a little distasteful. Hopefully they don't kill these ones. Be so easy to just farm them.
As you are sighing out loud and remarking this, the nearby Tara says, "Suppose you have a point," as she stands up and comes out of her hiding spot. And she raises her hand and she says, "All right, Shaka, here's your chance. One snowball to end this war, if you can hit me." Ooh. You hit...
I begged and it happened. I have powers.
You hit her right in the chest as she just gasps for air, and she says, I didn't say that hard."
Oh no, did I break new friend?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Could you do me a favor, though?
Yes, what do you need?
Can you grab that one over there? She's a little large. After the head, I don't think I can carry it.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the board she indicated. Just kind of carry it.
As she moves over to Darts, she whispers, Is he always like this?"
Easily manipulated? Yeah.
I was gonna say something completely different.
Oh, rough, a brute, thick in the head? Yeah. He's got a good heart, though.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Shall we make our way back to town?
Yeah, you good there?
I'm fine.
See, this is why I only show him affection as a treat. Otherwise, he's gonna have me broken.
Just grab the deceased male. I can carry the adolescent just fine, I think.
Alrighty.
She's gonna
I'll
make
do
her.
as she says.
Yeah, she's gonna make her way over towards the adolescent, who's much lighter, and yeah, you guys are gonna be heading back to town, and as pan the camera back towards Arturo and Calypso. At this point, breakfast has come out.
Good for breakfast,
Yeah, it's about time.
We all knew, but we're not the ones who are supposed to say anything.
True. And as you see, like, this sausage boat with the eggs and the cheese all in the middle, um, you're beholden to amazing scents as well as uh, a very appealing sightly meal. Um, so what do you do as this comes out? And also, your allies are still out in the wilderness, so it may raise alarms, it might not. What do you guys do?
I'll let Arturo go first.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Granny Bertha's gonna say, "Oh, your friends. They're still not back. I did tell them that it'd be ready in about 45 minutes."
45 minutes is a long time to be gone. Where did they go?
She points towards a nearby window and she says, "Well, to the north and west. I told them that um, boar meat, especially if we're going to be making more sausage, is going to be quite handy, and they went out to go and hunt for boars. And, well, not only that, but the tusks are a hot commodity around here. I specifically asked for 3.
That's awfully strange number since most boars come with 2. But I suppose you're accounting for a loss of 1 if you were to only hunt 2.
Well, there's a lot of logistics that go into it, but I don't want to bore you with that. As she, as she, as she winks at the remark.
My receptors register that as humor. Very good. I will go to the window that she pointed at and like just look at it and see if I can just see them. I'm going to take it literally, and I'm going to be very surprised if I can see them.
Well, you do, and as a matter of fact, you see a trio as opposed to a duo dragging boars. Well, one of them has a boar slung over their shoulders. You can probably guess who that one is. And yeah, you do see them.
Ma'am, you weren't kidding. They really are out there with boars.
Oh, so they do return. That brings a smile to my face and warmth to my heart. She goes to open the door as you guys are back in town, and you see Granny Bertha greeting you with a smile as she says, "Wow, I actually wasn't expecting there to be 3 boars brought back to my home."
I call this one Chop, I say as I basically hand it over to her.
Well, I was hoping to surprise you by allowing you to start a farm with this trip. Unfortunately, we killed our adult male. However, we have a female and an adolescent here that are still very much alive and breathing.
But if they're alive and breathing, then we can't make ham.
You can make lots of ham if they make more boars.
Darts does have a point. Although it kind of makes my skin crawl at the thought of using this adolescent in such ways, but a farm is a farm, I suppose.
I share that sentiment. Unfortunately, the male was a casualty.
I see. But that'll be more than enough to replace the sausage used in today's meal, which, by the way, is already prepared over there. She opens the door a little wider and points towards Calypso and Arturo. And she also says, on that note, how much could I pay you to perhaps construct a fence?
I'm already booking it into the room where there's food, and that food is going in my face.
Ugh, tell you what, we'll call it even for you feeding this brute.
Fair enough. And
He's probably gonna eat you out of the tavern before we leave this town.
And slightly out of character, I am not a brute. I am a himbo. Thank you very much.
I wouldn't expect anything different. But now, what do we do with these 2? We can't just let them be strung up this entire time, can we?
Let's see. Well, do we have a carpenter in town, right?
Yes, there is going to be a carpenter in town.
See. Do we know anyone who can... Is there like a pit or something? Maybe a pen that we can keep them in momentarily? A shed? Any sort of building?
Assuming that you're asking Granny Bertha this, she says,
Yeah.
well, I suppose you could lock them up behind the cemetery gate, but I also don't anticipate a lot of the townsfolk taking that very well. There's the stable.
Tell you what, why don't we keep them tied up for now? Then, why don't we
Cross
meet
that
with the
bridge later?
carpenter? Well, I was gonna say, we meet with the carpenter and have them set up a pen for you. I'm assuming you want to raise them? Or do you want to take it up with a farmer here? It would give you guys a great commodity to have these tusks in supply, as well as the meat that the boars provide. Given if you farm them properly and control their population appropriately.
She smiles and she says, I like the idea of crossing that bridge later. However, on the point of tusks, she says, she is going to take a knife out from underneath her belt, and she's going to move over towards the dead adult male, and she's going to cut that tusk off. Well, both of them, actually. And she says, I suppose this will be good enough for now. And also, I am quite an alchemist. She smiles as she says, I'm going to put these tusks to good use.
Ooh, what are you gonna make?
That is for you to see later. But
I look forward to it.
don't tell Father Garion. It would be quite remiss to see one of the church knowing of my unsavory practices.
Oh, is this one of those backwater towns that doesn't like magic?
I'm afraid no one in the Empire likes magic these days.
Hmm.
Now hurry.
Well, I'll
before
keep your secret if you promise to keep mine in the future.
a deal's a deal. Now hurry on in before Father Garion happens to come by and hears this conversation.
Here's of what conversation? He says, walking in.
She smiles as Tara just grabs your shoulder and she says, tonight, to the north, outside the cemetery. See you there?
Yes, you'll see me there.
Right, and that brings the party back together after being split. Remember everyone telling you don't split the party? Well, here we are. What I'll do first is Arturo and Calypso, since you guys haven't had a lot of action per se, what do you guys do as the parties are united? And Shaka he's already ran over to the table at this point as well.
Well, I hope you had fun on your adventure, but I think you guys have work to do.
Ooh, yes I do. As I pile my plate high and just start ducking the heck in.
I look over to Darts. I am talking about your halfling friend. Or I guess supposed to be our friend.
Oh. Oh yeah, we have to talk to him, but we'll. Oh no, has he been given breakfast? We should save some for him because breakfast is good.
I'm sure they're feeding him. We should
Okay.
probably at least go after you've had your fill. However long that takes.
Okay, then I will eat very fast.
Calypso will grab their plate of food, give a quick line to Arturo of goodbye, one of the signs they happen to learn today, and take their food to their room real quick.
Okay. As you take your food up to your room, Calypso, do they do anything other than eat the food?
No, they just go into the room and eat, and then once they're done, they'll come back.
Okay. What about you, Darts, as you're beholden to this scene? Everyone, well, especially Shaka, quickly eating their food, and Arturo eating none.
I will enjoy the food that I earned. Every last bite of it.
And what about you, Arturo? What are you doing?
I am just watching them eat their food
Brooding.
because I don't trifle with such mortal matters.
Wishing you had oil.
Nope. I guess in the meantime, I'll just do a gear check. Make sure everything is ready. No, nothing is out of place.
All right. Well, after everyone's meal has concluded, this is the point I have to ask. Do we leave the interrogation for next session? I know that it's getting quite late, and I know that we started a little later as well. Unless you guys have any other loose ends to tie up, I'll leave that up to you guys.
I tied up all my loose ends this session.
God, that would be a good time for a Gimli laugh, if I do say so myself.
Oh, darts.
Well, what's everyone's thoughts? Do we leave the interrogation for next time, or do we continue trotting along? Because I don't know how you guys are feeling.
I'm fine with whatever.
I'm thinking we probably wait till next session because even though Ferret was saying he was taking a little bit of a rest break, I don't want to get too far into the plot without him here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, that's
Second
fair.
that.
That's fair.
All right, so I guess we'll end after you guys finish your breakfast. After being up for about, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours into your day. That brings us to like around 10 a.m. and you've got time to interrogate and perhaps do other things throughout the day next time. Hey, I see you writing notes there, Ray. I'm proud of you.
You don't see shit.
But yeah, good session, everyone. Any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns?
I've got nothing.
Nope.
I just want to say I'm just glad the boar tusks finally were obtained.
Yeah, this is actually a long-running joke between old campaigns and myself and Quantum. In each and every game, there's been just a post-it note on the quest board. I need 3 boar tusks. No other context. And finally, it's happened. I'm proud of you guys. And
You broke the curse.
And on that note as well, I am going to give everyone 150 experience points for participating today. I apologize that you, Quantum, and Coffee, you guys didn't get a lot of action. I tried to pan the camera as much to you guys as possible, but, given the circumstances, there really wasn't much for you guys to do. But that was a cool moment of the sign language teaching, and I love the idea of inter-party interactions like that, leading towards like downtime and teaching each other skills. So that's awesome.
I mean, even though we didn't get to do much, I feel like we did a lot.
Hell yeah. And I mean, today was a very much role play and story, not even story, just like laid back kind of session. So either way, I'll take it. Very, very good to be playing D&D regardless, But yeah, any other comments? I know that, Shaka and Darts, you guys haven't really said much, Ray and Gnome, so any comments on your guys' end?
Who? I'm gonna send Dem for asking. What was the NPC's name that I have a meeting with?
Terra Hearthfire.
Okay. I'm so bad with names.
You're good. You're good. I'm really bad with names too. That's why I have a
Okay. I'm so bad with names.
You're good. A document. Really bad with names too. Shit. I had looked up whatever. I'm rambling. But yeah, I've got a whole document of names ready. So it's a secret of the trade.
Yeah, the hunting was fun. It's been a while since I've done a hunting RP.
Yeah, same here actually. It's refreshing in a way. I think I'm getting better at improv as time goes on, and as a DM, I'll tell you too. Mood definitely plays a lot into being able to improv correctly, I suppose. I don't know if correctly is the right word, but it's just me being self-analytical. But that said, I'm glad that you guys had a good time. I think it's time we raid out, and I will see you guys whenever I stream next in chat here. Actually, let me plug myself quick too. If you guys want to check out the Discord and the YouTube where this is going to be posted after the fact. I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you guys for showing up for D&D and having a good time. But yeah, I think we're going to go and raid into Lunar.
Sounds like a plan. Also, remember the people playing here are also streamers, so you should check out Ferret, Coffee, Ray, and Quantum as well, because they're all amazing. And I'm gonna plug them, and I will plug the living daylights out of them because they're all really good friends and great, good people.
Yeah, actually, let me go and give you guys shout-outs real quick before we actually do this raid thing. Go and follow these guys, because they're all, like Gnome said, beautiful people.
You are the hall monitor.
Alright, Gnome, what did you say you were gonna do to me?
I was gonna shout you out and say that you were amazing.
I thought you said you were gonna plug me. I'm just checking.
He did.
Oh, well, you know
I mean,
I
yeah.
you know I only do that after dark, baby.
Oh, true.
Ooh, holy shit!
It
You
is
guys are
after
there.
Pretty late.
Dude, I got so many of them right here.
After dark, that means when the
Those are-
sun comes up.
You'll go now?
you're
Alright.
Hold
It's
this.
not dark anymore.
Holy fuck!
Oh, yo, I reduced him to animal.
Yeah, Coffee's picking up what I'm putting down.
He's dead.
All right, with all those shout-outs out of the way, yeah, I'm going to go and hit the raid button. We're going to go say hi to Lunar, give some positive vibes, and he's playing Spyro, which is fucking awesome. I love that game. But yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Have a good night.
A whole new world of war.
Have a great night, everybody.
Terrible.